Episode 7 of DreamWorks Dragons Riders of Berk, How to Pick Your Dragon. It's a fairly decent episode. I won't go into a summary because I felt that was sort of tedious last time, and I will also presume that if you looked up this video, you yourself have already seen this episode. So I'm not going to do any more summaries. If you enjoyed those, I'm sorry, but go watch the episode yourself. Spoiler alert now, but again, if you looked up this video, you should have seen it already. But overall, decent episode. It's good. What do you think of it?
It's really something. Pretty funny.
There's not much to say about it. It's a good episode, but if you raised the question, what? Okay, I'll do a small summary. Stoick gets a dragon. It's not Skull Crusher as in the second movie. He gets a thunder drum, and Skull Crusher is actually a rumble horn. So, if you haven't seen the series before the second movie, you would probably had those questions. That's explained in future episodes, which we will get to. But I like this episode. It works with everything. I mean,
aside from the boars, that was just
a
little messed up. They should have just put wolves in, because they tried to make the boars do what wolves do. Boars do not jump. They cannot jump. So the way they attacked was just messed up. Add to it the fact that they felt the need to add red eyes. That's so a wolf thing.
I guess it's just like kid show cinematography or something.
Yeah, and they just didn't want to add another animal because they already had yaks, and I really enjoyed the yak tipping scene, but yaks and sheep and chickens, boars are a common wild thing in the UK area, and they're in the Isles, but
so are wolves, right?
Yeah, wolves are also very common. I mean, especially with a boar and sheep population. Jenny, will you leave her alone? Come here. But it's largely unbelievable, the boar scene.
It worked.
It worked, but they should have just put wolves in.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Yeah,
because it was clearly they wanted wolves.
Yeah.
Come on. Hey.
Ferocious. But I like this episode. It's fairly well paced. The flying scene with Stoick and Hiccup were really good.
Yeah. Especially at the end with the little father-son bonding. Aw, riding into the sunset.
But it works. I mean, I like it, and I do think that a thunder drum is a good dragon for Stoick.
Yep. I mean, it's a water type, which makes it a little awkward in their relationship.
But
not entirely feasible, but yeah. Because I mean, eventually it will want to go back in the water, and he has to let it. So.
Well, there are lakes and rivers on Berk, so
there has to be a source of fresh water. But
yeah, and not to mention the village is basically next to a cliff.
Yeah,
with ocean.
It's an island.
So it would work.
Yeah.
I mean,
he just every now and then he can't ride the dragon because it's off splashing in the water.
Yeah, being in its natural environment.
Yeah. And it has to be in its natural environment. I mean,
they actually did touch on it on thunder drums in the second movie when Hiccup and Toothless were flying over in the beginning, and they passed that, I guess, pod of thunder drums swimming below.
Mm-hmm.
Which actually in the second movie behaved more like whales or dolphins, since they were breaching and going under. So makes that movie a bit more believable, I guess. A bit more relatable. So.
Yeah. The difference between a movie and a TV show is funding. Movies get more funding than TV shows,
Yeah.
so they can plot things out better.
Animation,
Yeah.
etc. Although the animation in this was pretty good.
Yeah.
Uh,
They kind of overdid the use of Thor in here with all the references that they made between the thunder
Yeah.
drum and their
mythology.
yeah, because I mean I really like the fact that instead, like, because Nordic gods were very important in their culture, instead of doing the Christian phrase of what in the name of God are you doing, they do something like what in the name of Odin. But they kind of overdid Thor in here, and that's all you heard was Thor the entire time. I mean,
Yeah.
shush dog.
But yeah, it's a decent episode. I
Yeah.
can't really complain too much about it.
No. I found the thunder drum quite interesting in its
Appearance?
yeah, because of the I guess they were sort of like their version of gills.
I guess.
The tubes along its throat.
An equivalent of gills, yeah.
They look kind of like tube feet on a starfish, but
Yeah, but that wouldn't really help.
yeah.
Maybe they were going off something from newts, because newts have something along the frill of their head
Yeah.
that function as gills. So maybe this is a nod to that.
Yeah. It's an amphibian, but
Yeah, but it works. Yeah. I mean, great design, a lot better than Typhoomerang.
Yeah. This creature doesn't have a neck. It looks vaguely like an eel, as you pointed out.
Yes,
but
a gulper eel.
especially with that mouth and the body and the way it inflates when it opens its mouth. It's like a freaking pelican with its entire body is a giant pouch. But
And gulper eels have the same thing. If I can, I'll put in a picture right here. But if I can't, oh well. It shouldn't be too hard to find a picture.
no.
Gulper eels are fairly well known. Shouldn't be too hard. But I like this episode. You like this episode?
Yeah.
Great way to introduce a new dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Great way to get Stoick on a dragon and show that he fully supports having dragons
Yeah.
in and around Berk.
It's also a great way to bring in the stress between father and son, especially with the
Yep.
preteen age group.
Yeah.
Because Hiccup's getting into the teen angst period in his life. And,
Yeah, he's about 15 years old, so
and Stoick's
that's normal.
being the typical father that doesn't really want to understand the preteen teen.
And the fact that his son actually knows more.
Yeah,
about something
that's
that
the
he
other
does.
issue. It's the chief looking down at his son going, I don't like how intelligent you are because you make me look bad and or feel bad and slightly jealous and
Yeah,
add to it the fact that he's just stubborn and bullheaded.
Every bit the boar-headed stubborn Viking you ever were. But Gobber helped a little bit.
Yeah, because Gobber's good at singing songs and...
Well, I've got my axe and I've got my mace and I love my wife with the ugly face. I'm a Viking through and through.
Yeah.
But it works. Got good comedy, good action scenes. Great dragon. I'm really just reiterating right now because we touched everything we liked. I can't really think of any cons.
Other than the boar scene, no.
Yeah. So we're going to cut this off here. We're going to go on to the next episode, Portrait of Hiccup as a Buff Man.
What?